Welcome back to the Learner Plates podcast with myself, Callum Stowers, Ethan Kerridge, new car specialist and manager, and of course, the demon on Fleet Street, it's Tammy Hickson.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk everything Fleet. Now, I know that Fleet often intersects with your department, Ethan. Tammy, Fleet Manager, is that the term?
Yeah.
What is Fleet?
So I guess it's a pretty broad term. So historically, it's just been about businesses buying cars. But here at Cannington Mazda, we are focused on overall. So we can do novated leases. So if a person, as part of their employment package, they can novate a lease. So it can be a car for themselves. And then up to big fleet. So we do, large government, just normal large businesses down to if you've got one car. So as long as you have an ABN, then we can provide over and above discount. So it's all part of the Cannington Mazda family and team. So we have the VIP package where from servicing to financing to accessories, we can offer overall support. So we're here to offer something, over and above from what Ethan and his new car team. You can have, specialised fleet account manager that looks after you and your business. So we see it as a partnership here at Cannington.
Cool. Now, this might be wrong, but when I think of Fleet, I think of like utes, but is not just...
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so anything down from the Mazda 2 right up to the BT50, which is really good. So, we have a dedicated team in the ute centre. So we have technicians that are trained in the BT50 to fit those accessories. So it's all part of that new car warranty. But even, down to the Mazda 2, we've got something for everyone.
Sweet. Very good. Now, when it comes to novated leasing, I've heard that term a lot, but I feel like a lot of people hear that, but what exactly is a novated lease?
So a novated lease is different to an operational lease. So an operational lease is the traditional lease. So that is a business coming in and they will lease the vehicle through a fleet company. So novated lease is similar to that, but it's for the particular driver. So it's licensed in their personal name and it's their car. So you get as a monthly fee from the fleet management organisation that encompasses things right from your fuel to the tyres to servicing. So rather than buying the car outright and then each time something comes up you have to pay for that yourself, that's part of the leasing. So you pay them a monthly fee and then at the end of the day the car's yours.
Have you ever thought about novated leasing, Ethan?
For myself?
Personally.
Well, if I wasn't in the industry, then I think that's probably a way I would look at going, especially with the benefits you get with being in part of larger corporations and stuff like that. There's a lot of sort of benefits that Tammy's taught me along the way of what you get out of it in terms of like fuel side of things and savings there. And now with the EV side of things, not only just in, as Tammy was saying, with BTs and utes and that sort of thing, with the EV and FEVs, you get a lot of benefits and bonuses from that as well. So.
Right.
One thing I want, obviously, Tammy to touch base on would be when I started, and this was going back to when I was just selling cars as well, the fleet department here was mainly, and obviously other dealerships do it the same, where it's mainly the sales guys have got to work within the novated lease companies, figure all that stuff out here. But we've sort of transitioned into a stage where it's as a direct fleet manager, a direct point of contact for businesses and customers. Tammy, can you elaborate on why we do that and why we have a difference in sort of going that way?
So I think the really good thing about Cannington Mazda is that we all work really closely as a team and then our clients then feel that. So it's more of a business partnership rather than historically in other dealerships where it might be, you sell the car and then they're gone. So we like to see it that it's a whole of life. So it's not just selling the vehicle and making sure then that we have the right vehicle for the right purpose. It's also down to things like, offering some really good finance options for the team. So when you have a dedicated fleet manager, they encompass all of that. Then, with the service team, really good in offering, over and above customer service. So it's a whole of life life. And then when it comes to selling the vehicle at the end, and then we have a great used car team. So we can offer some really good value there. So it's not just selling the vehicle, it's like I say, it's the whole of life. And for us, it's a partnership offering really good over and above customer service and, being that one-stop shop for our clients.
Cool. And then something I would say, obviously diving into that one-stop shop, how would you say you found the process of us bringing in the Ute Centre compared to, obviously you were another large brand for many, many years that was predominantly Ute based. How would you find having this one-stop shop with the Ute Centre helps the business and helps obviously other external businesses work with us?
So it's really good. So these stress lines aren't from here. That's all I'm saying. It is good. We have a dedicated pre-delivery manager. So his team work really closely with us, both in fleet and in new cars, to make sure our clients are getting the best fit for their vehicles. A lot of our cars go up north. So once they've gone up there, it's really hard for us to get them back in because something wasn't fitted correctly. So I can hand on heart say every car that I've had has gone out perfectly because everyone takes pride in what they do, and that's from the technicians fitting right up to me delivering the car. So the Ute Centre's been really good. We have, like I say, we've got the dedicated technicians, but we've also got the facilities here where people can come in, touch and feel and to have a look at our bull bars, our trays, what we can offer, because sometimes that can be really hard to. So what I think that what the customer wants is potentially different to what they want, or they're not sure until they come in, and that's where we can help them and guide them along with their builds. There's obviously a lot of accessories out there, so it's really important that they get the right fit for what they'll need.
So I guess when someone's looking for like a vehicle as part of a fleet, some may have more specific or niche requirements for their vehicles than others. Has been like an example you can think of where someone's needed something a bit out there or a bit complicated and you've managed to find that?
Yeah, so for us, the BT50 is a great ute. It's fit for purpose. It's got all of the spec that the clients need. So I did have a client come in and they were going up north onto the mines. Like the mines can be really tricky. They've got specifics that they need for different sites, and it's really hard for a client to navigate that, especially if they haven't really played in that world before. So I've got a long history knowing different mine sites and what they need. So I worked with this client who all that they knew was that they needed a ute and they needed a four-wheel drive. So we worked with them around that spec. So there's certain trays that they needed. There's certain like high-vis striping, their lights, flags, beacons. So I gave them a comprehensive list on what those sites need. So it was great. The client went back to them and said, this is what our vehicles we would provide, and they won the contract. So it was really good for us to be able to offer that, because potentially then if they didn't have that, they wouldn't have won that contract. So yeah, they are now come back to us for every vehicle, and like I say, it's a partnership. So it's a win-win opportunity, and yeah, we've really embraced that, and it's all worked well for everyone.
One thing that's obviously really exciting in what we've got coming up and obviously coming into the new year is, obviously you would be aware that Mazda just announced in Australia the Mazda 6e. Callum Stowers doesn't know too much about it because he doesn't listen to anyone, but we've just announced that. So Tammy, that would be
Catching strays.
Obviously that would be big for the new car department in general, but I see it being massive for the fleet department and that side of the industry in WA. Where do you see it sort of going, Tammy? How do you see it sort of impacting?
Yeah, so it's actually really exciting. So at the moment we have hybrid, which is great. As a brand we're excited, but also here at Cannington Mazda. So at the moment Mazda doesn't have a dedicated electric vehicle. So we have some hybrid which perform well, but with the sort of government incentives and rebates and everything, a lot of businesses are going down the path of full electric. So the good thing for Mazda is that it's a known brand. So there's a lot of brands out there that people don't know. They're not really sort of sure of how that will affect them, even when it comes down to reselling the vehicle. But we know that Mazda's a quality product. So we're actually launching the Mazda 6e. So that'll be sort of mid next year. So it's a real focus for Mazda and for us as well. So we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes with a lot of fleet companies, but also with clients in general. So yeah, we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be a great car. Looking forward to driving it myself. Ethan said he'll pay for it.
I've never heard anything about it.
Tuck myself away. I'm gonna make it bright pink for myself. But I was actually having a discussion with one of our major fleet customers recently, and they were sort of saying that with us bringing in the E6, it will complete the sort of brand and complete the range, because then you have something of everything, as Tammy was saying earlier, from the Mazda 2 all the way up to the BT and everything in between. So it will, even on their side of things, that will be them having a vehicle in every category from Mazda, so which will be good to see.
So Tammy, when people are exploring the possibility of fleet, what are some of the kind of benefits that you think people don't really realise or a bit more unknown?
So I guess the biggest thing is the tax breaks for a business.
Everyone hates tax, man.
Yeah, especially Tammy.
And then the freaking tax office comes after me. Why don't you like
Tammy,
the tax,
when did you
man?
pay your last tax?
Yeah. Well, I haven't actually done my tax from this year
It's all coming out
live.
yeah. So I guess a real simple one is the tax benefit. So, I was going to be on a roll then.
Sorry, Charles' face broke me. I seen him go into a laugh, and I was but as soon as she said tax, he went.
Alrighty. We're talking 4x4s because that's why we're here. Not today, but in general. So me and Ethan, we don't know much about four-wheel drive in general. Do you have any experience in the four-wheel drive space?
Look, to be honest, I probably had less than you boys. So, but we just recently had a really great drive day with Mazda where we took the BT50s out past Mundaring. And I'll be honest, I've never driven four-wheel drive in my life. I grew up on a farm, never. So, yeah, we went out on this drive day, really good. So we had two people in each car, and we drove through down the four-wheel drive pass out near the telegraph poles. And I was actually really surprised about how comfortable I felt. So I was really anxious before because I'd never done it previously, but I felt safe. At one stage, I had two wheels off the road and I felt comfortable. I felt like I was just driving along the freeway. So the Mazda...
That's a funny thing to hear because I was like, what wheels?
I know. When I was saying that too, I was like...
my body tipping in the direction of where the wheels would be.
And it happens to me all the time on the freeway.
I know.
Sorry.
Do you reckon you'd have two wheels off on a Mazda? On Mazda 2?
Oh, let's try that. So the BT50s are built to go off-road. When you look at it, it's a nice car to look at. It's really great driving around town. It's really comfortable. It's, perfect for people in the back, but you forget that it's actually a four-wheel drive vehicle. So we find that though, with Ethan's team, they do sell a lot to the guys that go off-road. And now we're finding in fleet as well. Like I say, we have cars going up on mine sites. We do a lot with traffic management companies. So it's really a fit for purpose vehicle for our clients. And here in the fleet team, we make sure that they're getting the accessories for what they need. Sometimes they might need a GVM upgrade or bull bars so that they can take their car where they need to take it to be able to do their jobs. So yeah, we try and work as a team and the partnership to make sure that everyone's getting what they want.
Awesome.
Cool. If you
That went a bit off track.
If you were to take three things with you for driving, what would those three things be?
Oh,
Anything. Tough
question. Well, you'd have to take your phone because you'd have to have your Spotify. So you'd need your music to start.
Yeah.
So I'd have that, snacks, and probably you, Ethan, to be the main driver.
Callum said the exact same thing as me.
Well,
You wouldn't want to take me?
Right.
oh, look, you could be in the back.
Bit of
Rattling around in the tray. Let me in.
yeah, you can stay in the tray. That's okay.
Oh.
Well, Tammy, on behalf of myself and Ethan Kerridge, I'm very appreciative of you coming on. We know you're flat out with fleet at the moment.
One team, one dream.
Well, that's exactly it, Tammy. That's what we try and bring here right at the Youth Centre. Hope you've enjoyed today. And if you would like to keep up with the journey of us here at Cannington Mazda and also the Youth Centre behind us, like, subscribe. We'd love to have you along.